Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Slamdance 25. It's great to be here with you all, and we're not quite sure how we made it here to 2019, but we did. And I know we're celebrating our 25th year, but really for us, it's kind of business as usual. By filmmakers, for filmmakers. We're here for you all, and this is kind of this moment is sometimes awkward for some, not so for others, but it's a time. It's one of my favorite moments at Slamdance. It's a chance where we get to stand up and introduce one another, and say what film we're with, and just get to know one another, because that's really what Slamdance really is all about: to get to know one another, so that we can come together as a community and support our films and support our creativity together. And that's what Slamdance has done since the very beginning. Sure, in 1995 it was naive, and we didn't really have much of a clue, and slowly and surely we got it together as a community, how to come together and support artists. But that root from 1995 is still very much alive today. So before we do that, I want to introduce someone to you from an organization that's been very, very supportive and important to Slamdance, which is the Directors Guild of America. And our association with the Directors Guild started actually this is the 21st year of our relationship, and it started with Christopher Nolan. And they recognized his talent, and they asked him to join the guild. And I think Chris was the first Directors Guild member to come out of Slamdance, and since then there have been many, many more filmmakers that have joined the Directors Guild. And it's really amazing that year after year the Directors Guild are supportive and behind our filmmakers, want to meet you, want to share what they do. And so I'd like to actually now bring up Matt Gamara from the Directors Guild, who's going to say a few words. And thank you very much, Matt. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. It's an honor to support Slamdance, as we have for over 20 years. So I'm here just to give you a little bit of information about the DGA. I'm actually going to be around the festival for the next couple of days, so if you ever have questions, feel free to seek me out. I'll be here. So the truth about the DGA is that it actually does more for independent, low-budget filmmakers than anyone else in our membership. A lot of people think it's only for people like Chris Nolan at this point in his career. But as Peter said, he got his start at Slamdance, and since then has built clearly a burgeoning career. So we have a low-budget agreement that covers films from $11 million and under, that goes all the way down to $0. The lowest tier of that is $500,000 and under. And for anyone interested in statistics, in the past 3 years, over 200 films have been made at under $500,000. So it's possible to make your film, have it be DGA, and make sure that you get your economic and creative rights protections, things like access to our pension and health plan, the right to earn residuals, where once your film leaves the theatrical box office, any ancillary market it goes to, you're going to earn money on that. And that's true for narrative features and negotiable for theatrical docs. So yeah, like I said, I'll be around. If you have any questions, feel free to seek me out, and I hope to meet all of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so as I said, this can be a little bit awkward, but I'm just want to assure you, we're in a safe environment. It's very friendly, and by the end of it, you'll be very happy that you've done it. And also, we're going to have a toast at the end as well, provided by Beehive Distillery. So thank you very much, Beehive. But okay, so where should we start? Let's start with ladies first. And I think what we'll do to give this a little bit of direction, why don't we go? So we'll go anti-clockwise around the room. And when we do that, by the way, we're going to introduce our staff. I really do want to impress upon you that we are here for you, and we have been working as hard as we can for you, the filmmaker, and there are people that have come from all over the world, alumni, to be here to support you. So I picked up one last night. Fred came from France, and Fred was just like you, back in the day in '96. Maybe you don't gamble as much as Fred did, but Fred didn't have enough money for his short film. What money he did, he went to a French casino, put it on red, doubled his money, paid it to Jean Reno, got rejected by a bunch of French film festivals, got into Slamdance, came to Slamdance, got a WME agent, and launched his career. That is Fred. There are many, many stories like that, but right now, as I said, this is about you. But as we go around the room, alumni in residence and staff will introduce themselves as well. And here we go.
Can the mic reach? Yes. You should just talk loud.
Okay, talk loud.
Hi, I'm Tamara Maloney. I am an alumni of Slamdance now for 3 years, 3 separate times. Once as a producer, once as an editor, and now today as a screenwriter, award-winning. Thank you very much.
I'm Joe Lamatina, and this is...
I'm Lisa Lamatina.
Louder! Louder, sorry. Joe Lamatina.
Lisa Lamatina.
And our film is Memphis 69, which is a concert film, 50 years in the making. It's the 50th anniversary of the concert that was shot 50 years ago on 16mm Unearthed, and we made a movie from it.
Stefan Avalos. I am an alum and one of the jurors for the documentaries this year. And as he said, you guys have a great time, and this is really one of the best festivals I've ever been to and been a part of. So enjoy.
As you can tell, I'm Team Marky in Milwaukee. This has been a long project in the making, about 10 years. It's a featured documentary. We're really excited to bring it to Slam. I'm also an alumni of Slamdance. I was here last year with a featured narrative, Back of the Staircase, so it's really great to be back. So check us out. We're screening tomorrow, Saturday, and Tuesday.
I'm Quinn, I'm a DP. I also worked on Marky in Milwaukee. Also shot a feature that was shown in Slamdance last year, and that's it. Thank you much.
Hi, I'm Daniel.
And I'm Nicholas.
And we are from the feature film Bonnie Bonito. We are alumni as well here. We worked with a short film a couple of years ago. And now we're for our first feature fiction, so it's very good to be here with a film. You know, very hard to make it, but
We came all the way from Brazil. Have a nice day.
Hi, I'm David Freed. I have a short documentary here called Gun Stop Here. It looks at how Americans trace guns involved in gun crimes. So it's a comedy. Seriously. And I'm just honored to be here, and I can't wait to see everybody's films.
My name is Jennifer. I'm coming from Canada. I've got this film Impetus with me, which is a feature narrative, and which I shot, directed, wrote, and did everything. And so I'm very thrilled to be able to present it. It's about force of movement, impulsion, what we all know is essential to filmmaking. So it's showing tomorrow and Tuesday, and I really look forward to exchanging with all of you.
my name is Anders. A film, short film, no, not a short film. Feature narrative. Very sick. Very slowly, so it screens tomorrow, 10:30, the first screening. I'm from Norway. This is the DP, Jeremy. He's from Australia.
Hi, my name is Judah, and this is my producer Olivia. We came all the way from New Zealand to be here. My short film is called Charmer. It's about a shitty date, basically, and it's playing in the narrative shorts block number 3.
I'm James Kalin. This is Brennan Kelleher, Monica Baker, Charlie Faith.
We're here with America the Beautiful, which is the one film that's showing off-site at the St. Luke's Chapel. It came from Slamdance Dig earlier this year in LA. It's a vertical feature shot on vertical iPhone about a guy who gets seduced into the orbit of an alt-right militia in San Bernardino and ends well. And we're screening tomorrow night at 6:30. Your passes are valid. You got tickets at the box office like every other theater.
Hey, I'm Colin Harrington. I'm the cinematographer of a feature doc called Sea Drift, and we're having our premiere here. And first started shooting this in 2012, so stops and starts, and really excited. And is Angela by any chance here? Who's the editor on the project, who I've never met before? Well, I'll find Angela later. Thank you guys.
What's up? We made a great lamp.
Don Qureshi. You guys want to say it? Stephen Meyer, actor. I'm Don Monroe, DP.
Max Wild, I acted and I cut it.
And we made a movie, it just screened. It's about friends and rockets and talking pennies and a fish that becomes a person and an old lady. It's very sad and very funny. Made it with no money, and it was just an excuse to hang out and not be sad, and it worked. So, our next screening is on Tuesday at 6 in the gallery. Please come.
I'm James Gannon. I made a short Super 8 film called Betty Feeds the Animals, and it's about this lady Betty, and it's showing at Market with Milwaukee Tuesday and tomorrow, actually.
I'm Kelly Gallagher. I'm a juror for the animation and experimental film shorts, and I also have some of my Syracuse University students here, and I have some experimental animation in the other press. So I'm very busy, and I'm really excited to be here and watch all the amazing animation and experimental shorts.
Hey guys, I'm Annika.
Rudolph.
We came all the way from Australia. We made a little short called 23 Greta S. It's about the abuse of power and set in a world of casting. And it will be screening on Sunday and on Wednesday. And
Very pleased to be here.
first time.
My name is Michał, which is it's Polish. It sounds strange, but it's actually really easy. It's like show me how. This is my wife Celeste, producer, and this is our daughter Noemi, who's 7 months old. So we made a movie and a kid in the same year, so it's going to be our film is a short documentary. It's my first ever film. Slamdance is the second festival that I've ever submitted a film to. The first being the guys across the street, so hopefully your loss. The film is about a really incredible sort of subculture of African American men in New Orleans that make these elaborate feathered suits called Mardi Gras Indians, and I guess the most kind of like crude but accurate way that I can describe it is if a Native American chief fucked Big Bird and they had a baby. That's what it looks like, but what it stands for, what it means, is a lot more kind of historically significant. So that's our film. It screens on Sunday and Wednesday as part of the Doc Shorts blog, and we're just very excited and overwhelmed to be here. And she's actually not overwhelmed at all. She's so,
What's your film called?
It's called All on a Mardi Gras Day.
Nice.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Joe Sackett. It's kind of hard to follow the people with the baby and the Big Bird movie. I have a short playing in Anarchy. It's called Dominant Species. It's a queer sci-fi about 10 aliens in human host bodies learning how to be men. Happy to be here.
Hi everyone, I'm Maria Altamirano. I produced a narrative short, Nettles, and we shot it over the course of a year on 60mm, and it explores stinging moments in the lives of women. Our director, Raven, is going to be here a little bit later, but she sounds cool as well.
experimentally animation short called Eyes at the Spectre Glass. It's playing in the animation block, and this is my third film at Slamdance. My first film I ever made was here 10 years ago at Slamdance 15, so.
Director, writer, producer of Tijuana. We are a pilot in the episodes category. Our story follows the devilishly calculating and manipulative woman, Ilana Garalnik, who speaks 7 different languages and manipulates her husband, who is the chief of police, played by actor-producer David Black-Cynthia. And we are also here with our composer, Nicholas Perfetto, actor Nia. There you are! Yeah! Tomorrow night, it's 7:15, and Tuesday at 3:15, team episodes. We love you. We're so That's our first time in Park City, so we're newbies and we're loving every second. Come see it, guys. Come see it!
Hi everyone, I'm Dan Lamberbera from New Jersey. This is Beatrice Graff, the associate producer. I was the director of Professional Stevie Blatt's Story, which is a documentary narrative. It just follows an eccentric entertainer who lives at home with his parents, can't get out of the way of himself. But yeah, it's a really funny documentary. We premiered this morning at 11 a.m. and we will be playing next Thursday at 11 a.m. as well. So hopefully some people can get out there.
Sitting in this chair, so I'll just do this. My name's Jacob Greger. I directed and edited Chicken Rats and Condoms with Brian T. It just premiered 5 seconds ago.
Yeah.
And it's
showing is Tuesday at 8:15.
That sounds right. It's Narrative Blocks 1. It's basically a dark satire of YouTube.
And the catchy song you're going this week.
Hello, I'm Song Byung from South Korea. I'm a short film director. My film is Hands and Wings. You can find Narrative Block 1. There's some seats in front.
There's some seats in front. So I have a short film here. It's called Pew Pew, and it's about a young woman who tries to leave her boyfriend just for a moment of freedom and finds that the cost is very, very high to be alone, living free as a woman. And it just premiered here at 3:15, and it'll be here again Tuesday at 8:15 p.m. in the Narrative Block 1. And I'm really excited to be here. It's my second time here. And come.
What's your name?
Oh, what's my name?
Yeah.
Naima.
Hi, my name is Ogin. I'm coming from Serbia. Ogin. You can call me Ogin. So, if you want to see how the world really looks like, come and see Open Doors. It's Tuesday narrative show Block 1. It's based on the true story.
Hi there, my name is Jak. My name is Dobromir. Like we came here like 3 hours ago, so sorry. Came from Poland, so it's like hanging out. To be here, we've got like short narrative called Users in block number 3 as well. Sunday started like the first screening. Nice.
Hey guys, my name is Ian. I'm one of the narrative shorts programmers. Quick, give a shout out to UNCSA. Yeah! Like I said, narrative shorts programmer, one of them. I am a composer, if you can tell by the music theory shirt. I had a film back in 2016 and been programming since.
Hello. My name's Jai Love. I had a film here in 2016 called Dead Hands DG. It's a documentary. Now I program doc features. Go see all of them this year. They're all amazing.
stray reel of 35mm film that I found at a scrapyard and sticking it onto 16mm with nail polish. And I didn't have a projector, so I didn't know what it looked like for 2 months. And the whole film probably cost about $50 with the $25 projector. Sorry, it's called Wayward Emulsions. It plays on Tuesday morning and Thursday evening.
Monday morning.
Sorry, Monday morning.
Hi, I'm David Albert Pierce. I wish my name was Jai Love. How cool! Wow, that's a cool name. I'm the managing partner of Pierce Law Group. We have been a proud sponsor of Slamdance for 21 years. We're also the proud general counsel of the festival for the very few rare times that they have those legal needs. All those big business deals that they do, we help them with that. And that's quite often because that's a great festival. We have a legal clinic every morning, 10 to 11:30. And just, if you have questions, come. We have one-on-one sessions where we'll answer your questions. If you don't have questions, come. We put on a pre-planned program, a panel. If you don't have those questions, and we've got enough attorneys that we can handle the one-on-one and we can do the panel. Today we talked about film finance. Tomorrow we talk about clearance. The next day we're talking about actor and crew deals and unions. And then we talk about distribution. If anybody gets a distribution deal or talks to sales agents or anything like that, wants to have a quick contract with that, just grab a guy who looks like me. You come, you'll see a man, or maybe we have a woman attorney and a couple other attorneys. You can meet them all at 10 o'clock. We're very happy, and we can give you free legal advice when we're in the clinic from 10 to 11:30. Afterwards, we give special discounts for Slamdance alum, and every year I have people that come to us afterwards and say, we signed this contract, we didn't have a lawyer look at it, we think there may be a problem, can you help? And every year I tell them, if only my time machine weren't on the fritz, we're still waiting for that part to get it fixed. It's so much easier to correct things before you sign. There's no do-over in contract law. So please, if it's not me, some other lawyer, just talk to lawyers. They should be your friends, and you shouldn't be fearful of them. Have a great festival. I'm always excited to be here.
Hi, I'm Pat Beckman-Wells. I am Propolis Part 7, proud participant of the episodes block. My film is about the environmental apocalypse. I lived through it making the movie. True story. I was one of the houses to survive the Merrick fire in the Angeles forest, fighting it at 4 a.m., no firefighters till 6, had to pop my son in the living room with a movie about oceans so he didn't look out the window. 116-degree heat, working in the top of my barn over the summer to make this film. I believe in it, and I'm so excited to have this venue to show.
I don't really want to be talking right now. I've been talking all day. So I'll just keep it brief. I also have altitude sickness, I think, maybe. No, I'll be fine. Drink water. It's so easy. My name is Nicole Brending. I got that right. My film is called Dollhouse: The Eradication of Female Subjectivity from American Popular Culture. It's in the narrative feature competition. It screens today. You can also catch it on Monday at 5:30 right here.
My name is Christopher Noyce. I'm also in the episodes program. I have a short animation called They Quit Bothering Norman Kids, Stories by Dick, which is an animation I finally got to do. I finally got to record my father right before he died, the way he tells stories. And his name is Richard. His name is Dick Noyce. Do not call him Richard. I have no idea why he always said that. But he always said that. And if I talk any longer about it, it will be longer than the episode. See episode.
our U.S. premiere, and we're just really, really psyched to be here and with all you guys, and so many more of our people are coming, but Monday. So Monday, 5:15, we're going to show Desolation Center again, and our wonderful DP, Sandra, who's here in Park City, and Tyler, our editor, will be there, and they're all really cool people, so maybe you'll see them. Anyway. Oh yeah, thank you. Right. We're just kidding, you want to hit the DIY. Anyway, our film is about DIY concerts that we organized in the 80s with punk rock, industrial music, and lots of other crazy performance things with explosives. And we really feel at home here at Slamdance because of the spirit of what you guys are doing in the middle of all this sort of less independent things. So, thank you.
I'm Heidi Human from Portland, Oregon. This is my composer,
Brian Minus.
And I'm the director and producer of Behind the Bullet, so the hat, right? It's a documentary feature about 4 people who shot somebody and the impact it's had on their lives. We just had a world premiere a couple hours ago. So excited to be here, and we're going to be screening again on Tuesday at 5:45. So really grateful to be here. Thank you.
I'm James Jensen, this is Lika, my cinematographer, and Ruben, my star. We're all the way from Australia. I directed a short comedy called Tunnelball. Tunnelball's a fine motor game that you play when you're 6 years old in Australia, and New Zealand, I'm sure. It's a silly game, but in the film they take it very seriously. Essentially, a new kid gets kicked out of the team in the school because his penis is too long. It's all about toxic masculinity and how it's perpetuated in those elite male institutions. It's a drama. Come along. Come along. It's fun.
My name is Jenna Caravello. I made a short animation. It's in the animation block on Monday at 7:45. My animation is called Frontier Wisdom. It's about a phone repair woman who goes out into the Mojave Desert and encounters a corpse and a self-propelled peanut. Come, it's weird. The animation block is weird.
Hi, my name is Nathaniel Hendricks. I'm Zach the Sutter. I'm with Jaswell. And our film is Butt Fantasia, playing in Narrative Block 3 on Sunday and Thursday. And if you want to see some asses, then you should.
Rocky Road. It's a stop-motion animated film. It's about how I feel teaching in New York City, young children on a really, really bad day. It's part of episodes tomorrow night at 7:15, so hope you can all come. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kelly Sears. I'm here with an experimental animation, Applied Pressure, made from about 25 massage books using the sequential images from them to reflect on some more troubling relationships with cinema and massage that are happening currently. I'm very excited to be here. Very nice people.
Hey, my name's Traven Rice. I'm here with episodes as well. With the pilot Division Street. I'm the writer-director. It's about a little girl that moves to the Lower East Side and realizes that it's a magical place. So, yeah, come tomorrow at 7 and Tuesday at 3.
I'm Raphael, another Australian that got over here somehow.
Nice.
I'm in the Anarchy block, the shorts. It's called Slip Road. It's about what kids turn into. There's a bit of anarchy, so come check it out. And I can't wait to see all of you films.
Hey guys, my name is Carlos Madulanda. I'm a writer-director, and I'm here this year with a feature screenplay I wrote that was in the screenwriting competition. It's about a Mexican gambler that's disabled, yeah, you can't see it on the screen, but hopefully next year it'll be up there.
I'm Gerlene Rye, and this is F. Anthony Shepard, and he made Get Up Hero. It's an animated short that
choose your own adventure on Instagram. We just screened earlier today, and we screen again on Tuesday at
6 o'clock with a great lamp.
Yeah. So come see it, and we have postcards if you're interested.
Come see us, you can have a postcard.
Yep.
Follow us on Instagram.
Hi everyone, my name is Randall Good. I'm a shorts programmer. I help program narrative, animation, and experimental shorts. I've been doing this since I had a film here in 2009, and I heard we're alumni programmed, and here you guys are hearing it too, and they haven't been able to shake me since. So hopefully we can get all of you guys on board, and you can drink the Kool-Aid and join us. And if you are a filmmaker who made a film in one of those categories and haven't talked to me, I want to meet you, so come find me this weekend. Thanks.
Hi everyone, I'm Adele. I'm the media and marketing manager at Slamdance. I run all the social media that you might have seen. I'm also producing Slamdance TV this year, and I just want to shout out my crew. There's Angela. Yeah, they're great. And I also programmed animation, and I'm an animation alumni from 2 years ago.
Hey, I'm Paul Spritzy. I had a short film here in 1999, so I go as far back as David Pierce. And
that's why I decided to sponsor it, because of your film.
it was an experimental film about a gay sex club. So yes, I've been programming ever since. I do the graphic design for the festival. I did the booklet and your badges and all that stuff. Really looking forward to meeting all of you, because I program narrative features and animation.
Nice.
Hey, my name is Alina. I'm the festival manager for Slamdance. It's my second year, and I also programmed documentary features this year for the first time. That was super exciting, and I love all the documentary features and all of your other films, and I'm super excited that you guys made it here. I want to take this moment to mention our Spirit of Slamdance Award. Some of you probably noticed, those who have filmmaker badges, there's a ballot that says Spirit of Slamdance. So we have this award that is awarded by filmmakers to a filmmaker. And so before you leave, please vote for a filmmaker who you think embodies the most, the spirit of Slamdance the most. And if you don't know what the spirit of Slamdance is, hopefully you will learn in the next couple days that you're here. Yes, and I also am joining Randall in inviting you all to program next year festival. You can decide our program for the next year. Thank you.
And just to add to what Alina was saying, so it's the George Starks Spirit of Slamdance Award, and George Starks, who's not with us anymore, really represented individually the spirit of what Slamdance is all about. And what I mean by that is that he was a local person who actually really wasn't involved in making independent films, but he really got involved with our community and supported it in all kinds of ways, in a very selfless way, over a very long period of time. So we decided last year to rename our award in his name, George Starks, everybody. So, and also, of course, he was a very, very selfless, shy person who didn't often speak. And one of the recipients of the Spirit of Slamdance Award, an alumni, is here, Wally Chung. And if you need to meet Wally, because Wally. Represents the spirit of what this festival is all about, and he can really help you with the festival experience, not just here with Slamdance, but with other festivals as well, as many of our alumni can. Now, there are some shy people at the back who have not done what I've told them to do, which is often the case at Slamdance. No one listens to me very much these days, but I would like to thank very much Michael, our producer, for a fantastic job. Michael, there's Summer. Summer. I see our projections at the back. Behave well around your projectionist, everybody. Cheers. Mario is over here. Mario. Also our press team, I see Liz there. There is Liz. I think Sylvia's in the background. Also, Aaron Cook, everybody, who's been giving out your passes. What an amazing job you've done, Aaron. Oh, and before I pass on, there is Fred, the Frenchman, who I was telling you about earlier.
I'm Lauren Flinner and Carrie DeMare. First time at Slamdance. I'm an animator. I did Saw 8 Sad Bird, which is going to be screening with Impetus tomorrow at 12:30 and Tuesday at 3:30. It's a like cutout paper animation kind of about how intense it is to be a person and someone who's like afraid to leave their house, and cats. And there are no birds that get eaten in it, so. I'm Donna Windsor. I make animation Shalvat, which means tranquility in Hebrew. It's about a woman who is trying to meditate, but she's too angry, so she destroys everything. Really positive. Screening with Crystal Swan tomorrow at 12:45.
Hey everyone, I'm Jonathan Sutak. I produced, directed, and edited a featured music documentary called Dance of Disco, which is about a 1980s Italian pop star who's been lip syncing for 30 years, and what happens when the real singer, who's an American living in Vegas, reveals the truth. Wow. I'm really excited to be here. I've never been to Slamdance before, and I look forward to watching a bunch of your movies.
Hi everyone. Sorry, do you mind if I jump in? But I love that we share the hair. I'm the Crystal Swan filmmaker. We're screening together tomorrow at 12:45 with this amazing animation, which I'm so excited about. My film is about a young woman who wants to break free of this post-Soviet Belarusian bureaucracy and dreams about coming to America and becoming a DJ. And we repeat screen on Wednesday, and I hope to see you
What's
there.
your
name? Daria Zhok. Thank you, Randall.
Oh, is it?
Okay.
Oh, wait.
All right. Hi, I'm Sherry Dahlke, and I'm the director of Glorious Call, and this is my team. Co-creators Kristen Pavlakis, Cheryl Bookout, and Ann Galden. And Glorious Call is a short screening with the Stevie Black story, The Professional. It's about untold stories of women artists of surrealism, as told by an eccentric scholar who first came into their orbit in the 1970s and is now telling the story in her 80s. And it has animation and stuff. And it's screening Thursday at 1. Yeah.
I had a screening this morning too, so you missed that one.
Hi everyone, I'm Tina Huang, and I'm an actor, and I'm representing Finding the Asshole. Unless you imagine what that is. It's in the episodics block as well. So tomorrow at 7:15 and Tuesday as well. And the director and producer will be here later on tonight.
Christian Chapman and PJ. Hello. We're the directors of the short film Dog in the Woods, which was adopted by the Department of Anarchy. It's about a downtrodden, bored, rejected house dog that goes out for an adventure in the woods at night to follow the psychedelic temptations of the natural world.
And it screens tomorrow night at 10. That's our world premiere. And then Monday at 10 as well. Part of the Anarchy block.
Psychedelic
name is Summer Chaspent, and I created a series called Rage Room. It's about a woman who upends her life and opens up this shop where people can come and beat the shit out of inanimate objects. I created it following the 2016 election. So that's in the episodes block. We'll be screening the pilot tomorrow night at 7:15. I'm so excited for my whole crew, and my actual crew and team that's going to be here tomorrow. My director, my producer are coming. I'm the writer, creator, and I'm in it. And then also screens at 3:15 on Tuesday. So excited to be here.
Whoa. You don't work here? Hi, I'm Michael. This is Alec. We made the film Spiral Farm. It is a narrative feature playing on Saturday night and Tuesday night. It's about a 17-year-old young woman growing up on an intentional community. And if I had to say what it's about, I'd say it was about family, autonomy, and growing up. What do you think?
Awesome. Please come.
Yeah, it stars Piper De Palma and Amanda Plummer, and we are so very honored to be here. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name's Ido. Sometimes I'm a filmmaker, but I'm here this year with Eventive, the ticketing system and website that you've all used. My son built it for our home festival, Indie Memphis, about 3 years ago. And Slamdance and a lot of other festivals are using it. And really, we're here to serve filmmakers and festivals and help filmmakers connect with audiences in all kinds of new ways. So if you have any questions, ask me about it.
Hi, I'm Maha. I came all the way from the Middle East. My film is Hair, the Story of Grass, and it's about a loose interpretation of Cinderella in an Arab context, and she's hairy, and she gets dumped because she's hairy. And if you've ever had issues with hair, like even if you're a guy, like beard, like how hair defines you as a man, there's also a character there that is actually several characters who are defined by their mustache, their beard, and everything, and hair products as well. And I'm screening in narrative block 2. I think I saw the beginning. So the Australians, and I think there was someone there from Netherlands. So am I holding? Yeah. So this, and I also have like really cute postcards, so you can use them as actual postcards if you need them. So yeah.
Hi, I'm here to learn all of you. My name is Pat Caesar. I'm from Montclair, New Jersey. I have a short film music video, but it's I'm not going to tell how it's not in Slamdance, but New York when the film premiered it, and I made it. It's my first film that I made by myself. I directed, I wrote it, I shot it on my Canon in the backyard. But I made it to get kids to vote in midterm elections. It's called Fire After Lady Rap. It's really cool. You can see it, and I have candy and tissues. I thought this was just a filmmaker that had an educational seminar. It's a really good short film. I'm going to re-edit it for the general election, everybody.
Yes. Hi. We're from Cat Sticks.
We're from India, but
From India. Our film is called Cat Sticks. We're in narrative features, and we screen on Sunday at 12:45 and on Thursday, the last day at 3:15. And I'll let Ronnie, the director, tell you about the film. But we're stupidly late because we were stupidly waiting at the filmmaker lounge thinking this was there. I don't know why.
My name is Ronnie. He's Tanaji. He's a producer. He produced Cat Sticks. She's Shreya. She's the cinematographer of Cat Sticks. The actor in Cat Sticks. Is there Ollie there? So he's the music composer. And come all the way from London. This is Kanti. She's a writer. That's Rachna. She's the associate producer. So our film is about a few junkies in Calcutta in a period when a 34-year-old communist regime was almost dying down. So we hope you guys will come to the screen.
Yeah,
please
come.
So Sunday at 12:45 and Thursday, the last day, 31st at 3:15 p.m.
My name is Angela Furious. I'm co-editor of Citrip that maybe was already presented here. Yes, okay. I just arrived from the airport. So it'll be playing tomorrow at 11 a.m. and on Wednesday. So you already talked about it? Okay, I'm not going to be repeating. Nice to meet you all.
Horatio Oates. I was a documentary shorts programmer this year, and I have a short in the anarchy block. It's called Kingwa. It's about a slow dance and a Chinese takeover.
Hi, my name's Madeline, and this is Dusty, and we are the directors of a short narrative film. It's called Woman in Stall, and it's about a woman who gets trapped in a bathroom stall by a man with suspicious intentions. And we're playing on Sunday and Wednesday? Tuesday. Sunday and Tuesday.
This is Bernard Zwanzig, my sound designer. We're from Vienna, Austria, and we made Iko Rebaj, which is Jabberwocky backwards. That's what the film is based on, by Lewis Carroll's second part of Alice in Wonderland. And for example, if you ever saw Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland and thought, there's a Jabberwocky, but I want to see it low budget, set in India. That's us. We're on Saturday and Monday at 10 p.m. Anarchy program.
Hi everyone. Paloma Martinez. I have a short in the documentary Shorts block. It's called Enforcement Hours. It's about fear in the undocumented community in San Francisco, but I promise you, you will laugh at least twice. So come watch it. I think it's, when is it? When are we playing? I know there's some of you.
7:30 on Sunday.
Yeah.
And then some other time on Wednesday.
And also the shorts, the doc shorts, I've seen some of them. They're really, really great. Please come watch them. They're amazing.
So I'm from Marquee, Milwaukee, and and I don't know if we announced already. I was a little late, but yeah, we're screening tomorrow at 3 and Tuesday at 11, and wanted to make sure that you all know that Marky, the subject of the film, who's pictured here, will be at the screenings as well, which I think is really exciting.
Yes. I just would like to acknowledge in front of everybody the passing of Jonas Mikas, who made it possible for all of us to become independent filmmakers.
Yes, very much. So, before we end, Fred, you want to say anything since you weren't here when Peter so effectively introduced you?
Yeah, I met Dan and Paul in France, in Avignon in 95. They just had the first edition of Slamdance, and they invited me in 96, so I was the first foreign filmmaker to show up in Slamdance with a short film that featured Jean Reno, and I'm impressed to see how many, now that Slamdance 25 years later has become a worldwide festival, and people coming from all over the world. It's a great thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. So, my name is Paul Rackman. I'm one of the founders, along with Dan and Peter. So, you know, in 25 years of Slamdance, really, what's the most important and valuable asset you're all going to walk away with is this sense of community, of all knowing each other. And get to know each other, because as your career expands, your filmmaker community expands. And you're going to find that, you know, as you hit the bumpy road of making films, you know, when I lose a cast person or lose my financing or hit a real bump, I don't call my agent. They're not going to solve your difficult problems, you know. I call Dan Mervish. I call somebody from Slamdance because they understand. And it's really, really helpful. And you'll find as you as your career grows that, bigger filmmakers do the same thing. When, Oscar winners and everything hit bumpy roads, they call their peers for advice. They work out their problems among other people who have similar problems. So that is the most valuable thing after 25 years of Slamdance for me, probably for Dan, for Peter, and for all the filmmakers who've come through here. Because look, we all fit in one room. And we all can get to know each other really well. And you're going to really carry these friendships through for many, many, many years. Because, many of you will come and program. And we're still in touch with filmmakers from the very first year of Slamdance. So congratulations. Welcome to the family. You're all Slamdancers. Yeah. And so let me introduce Dan Mervish, who's going to wrap things up. And lastly, I wrote this article about Stanley Kubrick's early career in filmmaker, and you should read it because it's really just like everything you guys will be going through on your first 3 films. Nothing much has changed since the 1950s when he was an emerging filmmaker. He didn't have a festival circuit. But not much has changed. Distributors screwing up releases, losing cast, not enough money, borrowing money from family. It's all the same. So check that out. It'll make you feel good.
Thank you, Paul. All right. What?
Talk about your no film, the history of Slamdance.
Yeah, and I wrote a piece. The best press you get is the press you write yourself. So Paul and I have written a bunch this week. So I've got some stuff on No Film School, and Filmmaker Magazine's been doing stuff in IndieWire. Anyway, but to Paul's point about the community issue, we just put out a little tweet this afternoon just asking some of our alumni, and a couple of them who have been in this room at this event with you. I just asked them for some words of inspiration, and Gina Prince Bythewood did Love and Basketball and all kinds of great films. Wrote, "She's a proud member of this very cool collective. Never lose that swagger and passion that fueled your first film," which is very nice. And who else wrote? Let's see. Adam Rifkin wrote, "Slamdance is the wildest party in Park City, so everyone going to Slamdance 25 should just have as much fun as possible and see as many of the films as you can, and get me a t-shirt, medium." All right, who else was there? Oh, Macon Blair. This is a good one. Macon, I don't know if won Sundance a couple years ago, but he was here with Jeremy Saunier a few years ago, and they won our audience prize. And he wrote, "Make pals with your fellow filmmakers. Relationships are so important. I met Sean Baker at Slamdance 04, and years later, he put me in Florida Project. Also, be cool to the volunteers and staff. Everyone's busting their ass to make it work." So that was very nice, and that shows what can happen. And then our friend Sean Baker, who was here, what year was he? Well, he was here the same year that those guys were here in 04. He wrote, because I said, "Any words of inspiration for this year's crop of Slamdancers?" And he said, "They already have inspiration. They took the plunge and made their film, so instead, I just want to say, I salute you. Thank you for keeping this art form alive and thriving," which is very nice of Sean to write. And he's another one that we call regularly for advice, and sometimes he calls us back, which is pretty amazing. And in keeping with that, the Safdie brothers, you guys know the Safdie brothers, Josh and Benny. I said they wrote "Don't Die," which was, good advice. Anyway, so lots of other interesting alumni we've had over the years. I don't know, Peter, if you knew, Variety just announced that Christopher Nolan's new film is coming out. I'm sure it would have, even if they hadn't announced it. But anyway, but that was nice. Chris was someone who was in this room many years ago and only had 14 people in his audience, and he's done fine since then. All right, every year I do a poem. Let me see if I can get the poem up. So let's see. It was great. No Film School put it on their website, which is good because it's easier to read than in our program. It's larger print. Okay, so hard to believe it's been 25. Is this the beginning of it? Yes. Hard to believe it's been 25 fests. We've been coming to Park City as Sundance's pests. And when it's been negative Fahrenheit, Redford, he said we were a parasite. But we came back every year. Indeed, we persisted, even as we suspected that we were blacklisted. Though the sheriff once tried to run us out of town, now our friend Andy, who owns this hotel, wears the mayor's crown. We love Andy. And over the years, we've had filmmakers galore, most on first films, but some are sophomore. So many movies are just our two screenos, even scores by the likes of Michael Giacchino's. We've been happy to host them. Yes, it's been our pleasure. They all started here in the Mountain of Treasure with fresh films in hand and looking for buyers, though a few were arrested for handing out flyers. With Chris and wife Emma, we've had our share of Nolan, though they missed out on the years that we've gone bowling. That's tonight. Once a devoted Slamdance enthusiast before Rian Johnson made the Jedi of last. So many years before they worked for Marvel, we knew the Russos when their career was just larval. For 3 years they programmed. Oh, oi, did they grouse, but it was right here. Anthony met his spouse. It's true story. Spotting new talent, that's the thing that we've dealt in. Yes, we go way back with director Lynn Shelton. And of his shorts, I'd say we were beguiled before Ben Zeitlin's Beasts of the Southern Wild. Our programming solid. It's got good proclivity. We picked Oren Peli's Paranormal Activity. We've screened directors before they got famous, everyone from Sean Baker up to Drake Doremus. We've had more brothers than Russos, I'll say it quite loudle. We've had Safdies and Zellners and even the Dowdles. As for sisters, I suppose, on these words I might mince, Tina Mabry, Angela Robinson, and Gina Bythewood, née Prince. And speaking of girls, we showed the second short of Lena. Dunham was here. Back then you would have seen her. We had Mike Mitchell with Herd before he let loose, Shrek Forever After, Sky High, and Bigelow Deuce. They've come from USC, NYU, and even Loyola, and North Carolina School of the Arts, of course. Seth Gordon, Alex Rockwell, and yes, Greg Mottola. Jared Hess showed a short that was so out of sight, he turned it into Napoleon Dynamite. Anna Lily Amirpour, she had her share. Jeremy Saunier and Macon Blair. So many screenings, 25 such occasions. Even John M. Chu before Crazy Rich Asians. Asa Jacobs, Adam Rifkin came one and all. Bob Odenkirk was here before he was Saul. We had cannibal films that were a little darker, made by Matt Stone and yes, Trey Parker. For you animators that slouched or perhaps you have limped in, we've had Shane Acker, Don Hertzfeld, and oh yes, Bill Plimpton, but also DPs whose careers we've been peddling, Vilmos Sigmund, Maddie Lebatique, Oscar nominee Maddie Lebatique, and even Steve Yedlin. Actors have come in all sizes from slender to brawn, from Peter Dinklage and up to Vince Vaughn. Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, and Julia Stiles have graced our screenings or sat in our aisles, and musicians I'd say we've had a few times, Neil Young, Perry Farrell, and yes, Leanne Rimes. We've had Roots, we've had Moby, the numbers are mounting, and yes, we've had Crows, both Cheryl and counting. Executives, too, have walked up the block, Sarandos and Sloss, and tout hope in a box. The Sony Classics guys have shown their respect for New Lines Ordesky once moved our projector. You know who's picked up films, I'm happy to say, our pals Kevin Smith and Ava DuVernay. Though we had snacks, and even if he was starvy, we're proud to say that we never had Harvey. Let's see. Francis Lee from UK and Henloken so sweetly, Fred the French guy, and even Ben Wheatley. As for foreigners, we had a young Bong Joon-ho. It was here in Park City he pierced his first snow. All kinds of stars from lowly to stellar have been here, for instance, like Penn and Teller, Tipper Gore and RuPaul, Did We Bewitchel, Ken Kesey and Ebert and Elvis Mitchell. Big name filmmakers, I'll say if you let me, Soderbergh and Altman and Jonathan Demme have lent their support, and that's not just lore, man. We've even shown films from Kurosawa to Corman. Hard to believe it's been 5 and 20 since a scruffy herd far from film cognoscenti began to serve time in movie penitentiary. Not a bad run for a quarter of a century. There you go.
Thank you very much for this event. We are Slamdance.